Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Definitely appreciate the support. I got a couple of videos I got to record, so my memory needs to be refreshed. So please excuse if I'm a little bit off on predicting what's going to happen here. So anyways, I've been playing an all Madden regular season, and obviously they have a division that you are in based upon rank, I guess you could say. So I played 2 games here. I think I had a video. That was the one where I had Henry in the video. Okay, this was the video where the guy quit the first drive, right? So I showed that video. I think I forgot to record this one, so I got that win. We're gonna get into a video to where I lose. I think I remember this was a video that I lost, so I'm in the MVP category here. I believe, I believe that it makes sense, right? This is the bottom tier, and then as your skill kind of is depicted based upon your winning of games, whatever, and then now you're in the MVP league, and you can be demoted. In other words, if you lose enough, then you'll go back down to All-Star and etc. So we're in MVP, and we'll get into a game that I believe I lost. And this was a very, very frustrating game because I made so many mistakes, right? But just because I lose a game, it doesn't mean that I can't upload it, right? So I think we get into enough interesting stuff. It was so much interesting stuff in this game that I had to leave out like 80% of it because I didn't want to make like a 2.5 hour long video, right? That's just not practical. So let's see where I stopped it at. Let's see what's going on here. So obviously I go through my audibles. Okay, here we are. So I can tell you right now, I already know what I'm thinking. This is cover 0. Okay, so I think I vaguely remember what happened here. So my team, I had Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, Gronkowski, Evans here, okay? And originally, you'll see in my videos, I have Andrew Luck, okay? And just recently, I swapped over to Dan Marino. And I did that because some of his ratings was a little bit better in areas that suits my what I like to do. Okay, and I really don't have a style per se. I'm a spread guy, but I'm one of those guys where I love to go deep. I like to attack where you're weak. Doesn't matter what you're playing, right? But when you're playing cover 0, my #1 goal is to attack deep, right? Okay, so when I see this, so the reason why I went through that is because he has like 3 extra points on the deep ball than Andrew Luck, so he's a little bit more accurate on deep balls. But I've been really good with Andrew Luck on the deep ball. But the reason why I'm saying all this is because I'm not used to throwing with Dan Marino. Different quarterbacks have different animations, so it's just a little bit funky. So anyways, we'll take a look at this. This is Z-Cross. I have a video on Z-Cross. Definitely go check it out. Now, obviously, you guys know the alert on this play against cover 0 is this deep post. So go check out that video if you want to learn the intricacies of this play, at least the way I use it, okay? So looking at the pass protection, he should check release on this guy. And I believe that's how it goes, where this guy's kind of like the free player if he comes late. Okay, so I think I'm good in protection. Okay, and look at that. This is why this game was so frustrating, right? Because I snap this ball, I always peek the rush first, but then I try to look downfield because I want to look to where I want to attack, because I want to go deep. And at the snap of the ball, you notice what he's doing, right? He's doing something so suboptimal. Okay, you'll see it really quickly. Maybe I'll just stopping the video as we go. Okay, there's nothing worse theoretically than to play cover 0 without a rush. Okay, the strength, like I've always stated, when you have a defense like cover 2 man, every defense has strengths and weaknesses, right? Okay, and in cover 2 man, let's say they're on the line of scrimmage here. These guys, you have the deep half safety, right? And they're playing underneath trail technique, and then you decide to trot the safety down and play in the box. Okay, well, yes, you added strength to cover 2 man by having an additional person in the box, and now you're a little bit stronger against the run. However, you've created a weakness in the coverage that wasn't really there. Now the deep portion of this field is wide open to attack because these defenders are playing underneath trail. It's just wide open, right? So because like you've made the defense so much worse by, you know, adding to bringing this guy down into the box. That's what I'm getting at. The whole point is, yeah, you know, you can add a strength to a defense or try to hide a weakness of a particular defensive concept. But when you do something like this, where you're playing cover zero, and then you take these guys to do, like, go to the flats, you're not strengthening the coverage enough to make it worth it, right? So, you know, I just can't explain that any better than that. I just think whenever you try to mess around with the defensive coverage, you want to do it to where it makes sense. And playing cover zero and going to like the flats with these guys, whatever he's doing, it just doesn't make sense. It may work against a lot of other players because players don't attack. When's the last time you had a person throw a deep post on your defense? Right? It just doesn't happen, you know. So, you know, that's where you can kind of get away with doing stuff like this. I remember it was Madden 23 where the post just did not work against one-on-one coverage. And because of that, players could get away with playing cover zero. You guys remember that meta where they would play cover zero and they would put these guys into like deep curl flats. Theoretically, one of the worst defenses you could ever call ever. But it worked because no matter what, you just could not throw a post one-on-one. It would never work. And it's just not correct, theoretically, right? So I made a video on the post actually working in Madden this year, and it opens up so much to your game to where you can attack, you know, coverages like this, right? Cover zero. But so anyways, you know, I went through all that, and look, I mean, it's just wide open, right? I make the throw, and lo and behold, it was a bad throw. So I'm just not, the throw was there, but it's Dan Marino. So I'm like, all right, we'll just go on to the next play. And lo and behold, he's in cover zero again. So if you watch that replay, I think what he was doing is he was doubling. So this is okay. Okay, so he wasn't going to the flat. He was doubling the number 2 here. Okay, so if he was going to the flat, it wouldn't make sense, but doubling is okay. So, you know, it wasn't as bad as I thought, right? But what's the weakness of that? Well, this guy's one-on-one, and the deep middle of the field is wide open. So I have the perfect play call to deal with that. So let's see what I'm doing here. So I could have stayed in Z-cross with the post, but I'm like, you know what? Let me check into my doubles flex play. And I'm still trying to attack the post, but I want to give it a different look so he doesn't like alter the coverage to have someone go to the deep middle because he knows that I'm going there, right? So now we get a different look, but we're still trying to attack the deep post. So what I do with this play is I hot route him to a slant, and I block the tight end, and then he's in a check release, and then he's going deep, right? This play is strictly called against cover zero. I don't call it against anything else, okay? So we call it snap, okay? It's there again, right? I mean, that's just wide open. But again, look how we just overthrow the ball with Mr. Marino. So this was pissing me off, right? So now we're 3rd and 10. So evidently he thinks, oh, hey, my defense is working, so I'm going to stay in it, you know. But theoretically, those are 2 massive big gains just left out on the field because I missed, right? So now I just check into curl flats, knowing that I'm one-on-one on the outside because I just want to get a first down. So we'll just move on. So again, it's cover zero again. So I'm like, you know what? I got to hit this throw. You know, I just, for whatever reason, it was not going in. And we get sacked. So let's take a look at see what happened here. Okay, so I think what happens, so he should check release him. That's how the pass protection in Madden picks this particular front up, right? Now, it's weird if he decides to press and drive. Then I think it would make this guy free, right? But because he's not mugging the gap, this is how it picks up. I'm telling you right now, people can develop a scheme, because I just know how Madden is, where if you usered this player and just mugged right over the center, right? So why don't I play it until, okay. So if you took this player and just mugged right over the center, right? With the full intention to get out of there at the snap of the ball, I'm telling you right now, this guy would come scot-free like probably every single time. Okay? Because what would happen is the center would turn and he'd be scot-free, right? Okay? Now what happened in this play is the icon, this really pisses me off. I vaguely remember this. Okay, we'll take a look. If this is a boring part, again, use the timestamps. That's why I put them there. Okay? Because I know I can ramble. Okay, so this is what happened in this play. This is what pisses me off, right? I can't stand this about Madden, right? It happens maybe 5% of the time. Okay? So where's the C icon? Well, it's on this player, right? They don't have an icon to indicate the C and the M on the same player, right? So I know he's going to pick him up. So I know the pass protection. But what happens, and you will see it, is right before the snap of the ball, the icon moves to this player. I don't even know where the mic goes. And that's what happens, and now we have a breakdown in protection. So we'll see what happens. Look how it moves, like right there. So it just messes up everything. So we could take a look at this. So if it's on him, so now I'm responsible for him to see if he comes. But I don't think he's coming. So now he goes out into a route. Right? So now, see the center's turning this way, and now this guy's free on this side. And I'm not even, at the snap of the ball, I'm thinking I'm good due to the protection. But because the game moves it over here, it changes it to where now we have a free player. One of these guys come free at. Theoretically, it should be him. Let's see who came free. Yeah, so our left tackle opened up. He let the worst guy free. If you're going to let someone come free, it should always be the guy furthest away from the quarterback. It's just basic, like, offensive line protection theory, right? If someone is going to come scot-free, if I have someone here and I have someone here, and one of them has to come free because we don't have anyone to block, you want to block this guy. You want this guy to be the one to come scot-free because he has the furthest distance to make it to the quarterback, which means we have more time. The same is true here, right? Use the timestamps, guys. I'm pretty bad. I get a feeling I'm not going to even upload this. But if one of these guys have to come scot-free, let it be this guy, right? Never let it be the inside guy. And that's what happens here. And I think this movement of offensive line protection at the last second just screwed everything up. I don't know why it does that, but it happened. Right? It just messed everything up. And as you can see, he was one-on-one there. And we missed an opportunity. So now it's 3rd and 18. So I know he's playing some type of one-on-one coverage, right? So I'm like, you know what, so now he's playing true cover 0. But we get a big play. So, that's one of the problems of cover 0, man. You're one-on-one across the board, and if we can somehow pick up in protection and you don't green dog it, then, that's a chance for a big play down the field. So you can go rewatch that play and notice that I was good in protection. I stayed in the pocket, waited for that route to develop, and threw at the top of the route. Okay, so I don't know why I stopped here. Oh, here I was trying something funky. I've never really done this, okay? But I've made videos on why I love split field coverage, and in the past why I haven't really been a big fan of single high coverages. That's changed. I love all defenses now because I learned how to play single high so much better, right? But this is an instance in game of me trying to be creative and messing up, right? I've stated in videos that with the split field coverage, you can play like 2 separate defenses on both sides of the field because of how it's structured, but you really can't do that with single high. That's one of the things I don't like about single high. It's not as diverse in versatility and what you can do as opposed to double high, right? So lo and behold, here's an example of that. Obviously you can run man on one side and zone on the other side while playing single high, but I don't think it's optimal, right? Because if someone comes across from the zone side and we're running something like this guy can just pop wide open if we're just like zone dropping here and not matching, right? And that's what's going to happen here in Madden. So, my thinking here, I don't remember what transpired up to this point, but for whatever reason, I wanted to throw something different at his plate. I was going to bring a pressure here with this guy and then kind of play, I think it's called a rush path with this player. Okay? And what that is you're going to rush the quarterback, but if the back flares out, then you just play him man-to-man, right? I learned that from Cody Alexander. He goes over a lot of different stuff. I probably learned the most about double high from Cody Alexander. Definitely go check out his website. He talks about real football, not Madden. But, I mean, again, we're trying to learn, like, real stuff and transition that stuff into Madden, right? So that's what I'm doing here. That's my plan. And look what happens. And the reason why I did this is because I did something earlier on in another game with this same front to where this guy came scot-free. So that was my plan here. Maybe he can come scot-free, and I can kind of rush to hold the right tackle and then pin out with the back. So again, this is me trying to develop stuff on the fly, right? So we pin out, he gets picked up, so that's no good. And what I should have did was stay top shoulder. I leaked off because I knew he was going to come scot-free because I know that I manned up this side. And of course, I left my guy wide open, so that's 100% my fault. So that's okay. We'll just move on. And then reviewing my videos, I've noticed, of course, you get corny stuff, right? Onside in the first quarter. I've noticed a lot of me giving up points is me just making mental errors, right? So, it's good that I'm looking at this stuff because I notice if I just play like sound and not do things like that, then I won't give up easy touchdowns. So again, this is cover 0 again, so I already know I'm going for this. And we finally get it. So when I threw that and made that, I was thinking, this is going to be an easy game. I had a feeling this was going to be an easy game. Here I'm playing stress. So we're playing, it's one of the good things about, stress, stubby, a plethora of different coverages. Again, this is double high stuff. You can play one defense on one side of the field and a totally different defense on the other side of the field, right? Because essentially what we're doing with a double high coverage is we're getting a +1 advantage in the passing game. See how we have 3 defenders defending 2? And then on this side, we have 4 defenders over 3. Okay? And this side of the defense is completely independent of this side of the defense. So we can run a cover 2 style on this side, and we can run another independent double high defense on this side. So I decided, I'm going to play stress over here. If you don't know how to play stress in Madden, what I do is I just turn this guy into an outside third, and then I have rules that I go by as the second defender in, right? So I still got to make a video on stress. I don't think I made a video on it. Okay, but basically what I'm doing is we're reading the 3. He kind of dictates what's going to happen. So we can go. Okay, so the beauty about stress is the very instant 3, 2, or 1. If any of these players go underneath like this, then we stay underneath now, right? It just turns into regular quarters coverage, okay? But in the instance where 3, 2, and 1 all 3 go deep, that's when we have to play inside leverage and top the number 2, right? Because he would top that, and then he would top the 3, right? The instant any one of them stay underneath, then we can play underneath the curl area, or we can drive on this route, etc. Right? At least that's the way I play it. I think it's taught if the guy goes to the flat like this, then you just hold the curl. You don't just drive on the flat right away, and you wait until the quarterback throws to the flat, and then the ball should. That's when you drive on the flat. At least that's how it's taught by Cody Alexander. Okay, so he had nowhere to go on that. We get a sack. So I think I'm playing stress again with cover 2 on the backside. And look, in true fashion, now it looks like all 3 are going vertical. So when 3 goes vertical, I have to get my eyes on 2 and 1. And if both go vertical, I have to take inside leverage of the number 2. Okay? If one of these guys stay under, then I leak off and take the under, knowing that he's going to top this guy, right? Again, that's because if anyone goes under, then it turns into like regular quarters coverage, right? But they're all going deep, so I'm topping that route, and we get a sack, which is good. So now it's 3rd and 29. Okay, so what are we doing here? I was thinking about playing cover 0 and just green dogging, but I don't like how easy it can be to get a big play on man-to-man coverage with cover 0, especially in mutt. So this is where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to play hot coverage. Okay. Right here. So this is a different type of blitz. So you know how we have 4-2 zone, 2-man, 0, 3, 1. And then we have all of the variants of cover 4, variants of cover 2 zone, variants of 2-man, 3 and 1. And you notice I never really put anything under cover 0. You know, I don't know if this would belong there, okay, per se, because we're not really playing cover 0. As you see, the middle of the field is closed, okay? But it's kind of weird in the sense that you notice how we're bringing 6, but we're playing zone on the back end, okay? And hot coverage is where, obviously, you can't really simulate it in Madden because it's really based upon where the quarterback looks, okay? So basically, we want to bring more than what the offense can block, right? If the quarterback looks to the right, I believe it's taught that this player should squeeze more inside, right? And the reason why, because if you can imagine, if we squeeze more inside with this guy going deep, you know, that could be a potential problem, right? Obviously, we would still, okay? But, you know, I think it's taught where, well, if he's looking to the right and he decides to, all right, I don't like it over there, I'm going to turn left and look over here. Yeah, you may be out of position on something like that, but there's just not enough time for him to do that, right? The second you look right, don't like what you see, and then you turn left, the free rusher is going to hit him, okay? However, if he looks over here first, well, then you play it a little bit more. You're not going to squeeze in on the formation. Okay, I got to relook the intricacies of this coverage, but I believe that that's how it is, okay? Now, I'm pretty sure based upon that explanation, you could tell why you really can't do this in Madden because there is no vision cone, right? As a user, you know, the quarterback pretty much sees the entire field the entire time. Obviously, your eyes could be over here, but I don't know where your eyes is, so I can't really play hard inside knowing that your eyes are over here, right? But what I do to kind of simulate it to the best I can, and you'll see it here, is I just move this safety further inside, right? And then I user one of these players, and I just sit hard inside on routes, unafraid of them blowing right by me because it should not be enough time, right? So I believe that's what happens here. And one thing I've noticed is I should have moved this player and just had him sitting up here, because you'll see he just sits way too far underneath, right? That's just not a good spot to be on 3rd and 29. If we would have placed him here, you know, he would be more here, right? So he could feel the heat, and he decides to let it go, and the middle of the field is closed, right? That's why I don't feel comfortable calling it a cover 0 coverage. We get the interception, and I'm like, all right, it's going to be an easy game, right? I go to Z cross in the red zone, and I think I make a mistake here because this is wide open, and I didn't throw it, right? So now I'm going through my read 1 to 2, and I should have threw, I should have threw 1, and I didn't throw 1. So I didn't throw this, and he was open. I didn't throw this, and he was open, and I decided to loft it over to 2. Yeah, he beat his man, but we have someone robbing underneath, and then someone from the backside is going to intercept this. So this is me, and then I put too much air on the ball because I wanted to get over that user defender. So that's, 100% on me making a mistake. So it's real frustrating to see that. One of you guys asked, why do I do this? So I think during one of the fast forwarding process, maybe you paused it and saw this play art, and you didn't see the actual play because I was fast forwarding through it. And you made a valid question. You were like, why I saw this play design and this just does not make any sense. And you're right, it doesn't. This doesn't, right? Because again, outer third, middle third, there's no one here. I mean, this is just a poorly structured defense. But I went over a video on this. I'm not actually in curl flat, right? I'm using this player and I'm playing the outer third. And the reason why I do this, I went over a video on this, definitely go check it out. I think the video is called Double Outs and Cover 3 Switch, I believe is what I titled that video. But I do this because instead of me playing more to the flat and this guy playing outer third, I just change him into the flat because he leverages the outside of this formation so much better, and he plays the flat so much better from this position. While me playing the outer third, I'm able to play the outer third a lot better from this position as well, right? So if both of these guys go vertical, then I would just kind of apex both of these routes and play it so much better, right? As opposed to the computer playing the outer third, just kind of drifting off into space. It's just too much grass to be thrown in there, right? There's just a lot of problems. And then on top of that, the curl flat just gets out leveraged to the flat way too much for my liking, right? So I've come to implement this in my defense, and I'm telling you guys, start doing this. It's really good. It really is. And I've come to a point to where now I can play a single high scheme where, hey, I can be in cover 1 man, where we play that aggressive underneath shoulder if you are inside the numbers. I can play cover 2 invert to where we look the same from this, or I can play cover 3 sky, a defense that I usually never play, but it plays so much better when I do this, right? So, I have a scheme to where everything looks the same, but it's 3 totally different defenses. And then also I can play a cover 1 blitz as well, is what I've been doing as well. Okay. So that's what I'm doing here. He runs the ball. And as you can see, look how our flat, leveraging the outside of this, okay? And me as the outer third, because nothing's threatening this, I can kind of hinge underneath and help here. So he doesn't know where to go with the ball. He just throws it up there and we get an interception. And again, this is where I'm like, okay, it's going to be an easy game, right? As long as I don't make any mistakes. So here I'm like, I resort to this play a lot when I don't know what my opponent is doing pre-snap, to where, you know what, I'm just going to progression read, right? One of the benefits of running a progression read style offense is that you really don't have to rely so much on pre and post snap reading, right? So in an instance where you don't know what they're doing, it's so much better to just run a progression read play, right? To where we're just reading 1 to 2 to 3. That's the read on this play. And this play is so good. I don't think I've thrown an interception once while running this play. And I run it probably my 4th most used play in my scheme. 1, no. 2, no. 3, yes. So we'll move on. Sorry for my voice, it's kind of scratchy. I ran a cover 1 scheme and they just had a rub concept there, and my guy kind of got pinned off. So we gave up a big play, which was disappointing. And again, I see cover 0 again, right? So I'm like, all right, Gotta throw a big play here. And it's wide open, guys. I just could not make the throw with Dan Marino. I just could not make it. And this was pissing me off. And that's why I'm like, get out of my game. Just get out, right? I even went to check to make sure, does he have a more accurate deep ball? And he does, right? So I think it's just me not used to throwing with Dan Marino. I even went to try to auction him off after this game, and it made it where he's not auctionable, which is annoying, right? It's just so stupid, but it is what it is. So here's where I throw an interception. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something different. I'm not going to throw the post. Why don't I just go ahead and get a first down? So my idea here was to just run curl flats on the outside and peek this. He kind of dictates where I go with the ball, because sometimes people play cover 0 and they press the underneath coverage. So if at the snap of the ball you sit at all, then I know I can throw the deep go for a touchdown. But if at the snap I see that he doesn't sit, then I know you're playing regular coverage, and then I'm just going to throw the curl over here one-on-one, right? And we'll see what happens here. So when I saw this, I'm like, okay, he's not playing underneath. So let me throw this. And look at how at the top of the route, he just owned Marvin Harrison there. So that confused me, because I'm like, well, did he play underneath coverage? Because it seemed like he didn't, right? There I was playing cover 1 with the underneath, so I had to play that corner over there. And when he took that outside stem, I thought, okay, he's definitely running a fade pattern. And obviously you get to see how deadly a comeback pattern is, right? Because you think you're running the go, and then they just throw the comeback. It's just so hard to defend one-on-one on the outside in single high. You really don't understand it until you actually use it at player and try to do it. So this is cover 0 again. So I'm like, all right, I'm going deep again. And I had no time. My left tackle got owned. So here I'm like, all right, I'm going to try a different play. And I got rushed. I forgot what happened here. So I played horrible here. Okay, so one thing, I haven't practiced this play against cover 0. But what I've noticed is he actually does... See, play action blocking schemes in Madden is horrible. Okay? That's why I almost never run play action against cover 0. But this is a play I think you can run. You just kind of have to lab up the blocking scheme. Because he does actually, after the play fake, goes to block. Right? So you can set up a blocking scheme here. I just did not practice this. So this was my fault again, not labbing this up. Because what happens is, as we see, the center, I mean, this is horrible. So we don't get a slide call, right? We don't get a slide call, so we waste the center, and now he's free, right? You would like it to where the center slides. So we get 3-on-3 here, big on big, play fake, and then you get this guy. Right? So I wonder if I can make that work by putting the mic here, right? And then play fake, he will go for that guy, and then we can get the center slide in this way. It's something I got to lab. So because he comes scot-free, I'm forced to get rid of the ball before I wanted to. And whenever you do that, that's when you get interceptions by Julius Peppers at safety, which is corny, right? So I'm like, wow, I'm making this game harder than what it needs to be. I've made so many mistakes. I was horrible in this game. And then I ran it again. So, you know, I just was not all the way there, right? I just wasn't there. Let's go back. Okay. I wanted to see where the mic was. Okay, so the mic was here. Oh, man, I played like total shit. Just total shit. So I wonder if you just move the mic here, we can get that 3-man, and then he will go and pick this guy up, right? So on the back end, my whole plan with this play was to get away from just throwing the post with him, maybe try to throw it with the slot guy here, one-on-one, right? He can get to the post quicker, and it's just a different look to attack cover 0, right? So, oh, also when I run this, I cancel the play fake right at the mesh point, and that's what allowed him to spin back and get this guy. Look at how I move in the pocket, though. That's just unbelievable. It looks nice, but I was playing like total shit. Pre-snap, I'm playing like total shit, right? So I'm looking here the whole time because I noticed this guy's coming scot-free, thinking that I'm good for whatever reason, right? But in my head, I know it's one-on-one here. I mean, this is the benefits of knowing you're one-on-one and knowing when to throw at the top of the route, because I've thrown this comeback a million times, right? So I was looking here the whole time. It's just a timer in my head. Throw it. That was my first completion. I was playing, oh, with I did change them, okay. Man, I was playing like total shit. Like total shit. So pre-snap, I was playing like total garbage, right? So we know this play, guys, right? Levels divide. Okay. This is the first play I went over in my scheme. And there's nothing wrong with the scheme at all. Okay. Whenever I get single high against this, and I know it's single high, like cover 1 man, stuff like that, I've made videos where just change this guy into a deep go, right? Because you're not going to be looking over here anyways, because it's not double high. But why not turn him into a go? Because if it's one-on-one and you get press, well, then you can throw this route for a big touchdown if he can win at the LOS, right? But here's another reason why that's a good idea, okay? Because we're looking over here against single high. And you see how he's playing down underneath? That's because he's playing underneath coverage. The second we see that, I could have got my eyes back over here on the deep go, and it would have been wide open, right? I saw this, and I'm like, uh-oh, he's playing underneath. But I'm still going to throw at the top of the route because I've made completions on that regardless. And we throw an interception. So again, I was playing like total shit. And this was there. If I threw outside shoulder. So I think this is a good game to show how sometimes it's not the scheme, it's the player, right? You could just be playing like total garbage. You know, and I was playing like garbage on defense as well. So we'll move on. So here so he's in cover 1 again, right? Here I finally get it right? Let's see what happens. Oh, coming down, right? Get your eyes over here. Little pre-snap, like, I don't know, man. Sometimes you can be overly technical, but sometimes being overly technical is what makes you better, right? Little things like that, pre-snap, making that adjustment, is a difference between throwing a touchdown for yourself or throwing a touchdown for the other team, right? You can literally lose or win games based off of just paying attention to the details, you know. So I could go over the defensive gaffes I was making, but again, this video will be way too long, as you can see. So I had to speed through some of this stuff. So, you know, as we see, he's not playing cover 0 anymore. We ended the half there. So I guess we'll keep going until I stopped it. Oh, here I was. I saw what I was doing. I was playing three-way. Another bunch defense. I've been trying to practice this. And as you know, I do most of my practicing live in game to see how it plays. And I think I messed up with the underneath coverage on the backside there. So that was on me as well, and he's able to score. So now we're down 42-28 in a game where I was up 21-7, thinking that this would be an easy game, right? And it's just me consistently making mistakes over and over again. Okay? He did it again, right? He did it again. So, despite me playing like total dog shit, I'm still, putting up the points. I'm not going to go over this. Oh, this was 4 strong. I think he threw an interception. So, to shorten the video, definitely go check that out. But all I did was, again, go watch my video on, I think I labeled it How to Defend 4 Strong. I don't remember what I labeled it. I made the video maybe last week. Go check it out. But we get the push call by manning up the second defender in on the back. Okay, so definitely go check out that video. That's what I did in that. And we were able to confuse them and get an interception. So now it's 42-42. I don't have trouble against trips, tight end, flex, this formation at all anymore. I pretty much bagged this formation up because I play the cop check. Okay. He went to 4 strong there. So I guess I started playing a little bit more, better defense. I guess, I don't know, maybe my brain needed to have some time to kind of like start working. I don't know, but giving up 45 points is horrible. So now, obviously, we got to drive and we got to score, right? So, I'm not going to go over these. Okay, obviously, we're back at it again because he's in single high. He might do the same thing. Let's see what happens. He doesn't, obviously, right? Because he's given up 2 touchdowns on that already. So what do? Should throw it. We throw the comeback. Right? You run your bread and butter until your opponent overcompensates. And then when they overcompensate, that's when you punish them with plays that attack them for cheating. This was the first time he played 2-man in the game. So we already know he doesn't like playing 2-man because if the very first time you run it is in the 4th quarter with 3:14 left after 87 points have been scored, then we know that this isn't your traditional defense, right? But maybe he felt like the other stuff was not working and he wanted to try something else. And what do you know? We're running Z-cross and we have an alert on this play, right? Remember the alerts? Against cover 2-man, 2-zone, and cover 0. Well, he's in 2-man, right? So this is what I'm looking for here. And I didn't run it. So I think what I did was I checked into a run, and when I do that while I'm running, I'm looking at the safeties. I want to make sure that you're in 2-man. So this is how careful I was in this. And as we're running the ball, we see that they are actually playing deep half. So now I know, okay, he's definitely in 2-man. So I know I'm going back to that. I got to, right? Okay, so I could have stayed in that play. I didn't want to. I checked into our other 2-man beating play from gun Y slot. So go watch the video on this, PA tight end wheel. Snap the ball. He's open. He's open. You can pick your poison here. It's a beautiful drive. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to redeem myself. Put up 49 points in a game where I played like straight trash, right? He's in 4 strong again, right? So I already know I'm going to man up. So what I do against 4 strong now, we man up this guy in here, and then we get a push call. It plays it so much better. I'm telling you, definitely implement that into your game. And then what I do on the back end now, I used to man this guy up on him and then user this player. But I think what's better, it plays very well. You man him up on here, but then man up the safety on the wide receiver and user this player. And the reason why I like that is because we can top this player, reroute him to help the safety, let him go, right? And now we're keying for anything from the bunch. So I wonder if that's what I did here. I just didn't have enough time. So that's annoying. And I was just a little late because I'm riding up a field. I'm keying something from the bunch side. And the second I saw that, I just drove a little bit too late. So I literally could have won the game right there. It's again me making a mistake. Maybe we can see what happened on the back end there. On that 4 strong. Let's take a look at the push. Look at that. Remember, he was man to hit man on him, right? So, but he made a push call, so now you're man to man on him. But then he makes a push call, so now you're man to man on him, right? So he turns into mid read, and he's the vertical hook, and he's man to man on this player, right? Now we have the cloud flat and the safety kind of pinching on that corner route there. There's just nothing open, right? The only thing that's open really is this deep post by the 1. But he wouldn't have been open if we were able to make those adjustments, because we would have rerouted him. The safety could have been in better position, and then we could have drove on this, right? So this is a very sound defense against bunch 4 strong. I just was late. I just was late. So maybe not as interesting as a video as I thought it would be. Oh, here's a play. So you guys, I run the Baltimore defensive playbook, and this is a pressure package you could run against empty. It's dime 2-3, linebacker blitz 1. You just slant the defensive line towards the underside, and this guy will come like scot-free every single time, right? So he didn't like what he saw on the back end, so he tried to run it, but again, we came scot-free. And I got to give my opponent props here. I got to give him 100% props. He ends up running the perfect route combination to attack what we were doing. Okay, we're playing cover 1. I think he's going to run this right here. And I'm playing inside leverage with this guy. So when he threw this, look, he's coming free. Just took too long. And when he threw that right here, I'm like, oh no. I just knew it. I just knew it. Just a beautiful throw. I got to give him props on that. So I'm like, we're probably going to lose this game. But look, we get him the 3rd and goal. Okay? 3rd and goal. And I'm running the same blitz, but I'm just doing different things with different players to try to confuse them. Look, he gets in again. 4th and goal. I'm like, okay, I can win this game. And here, I'm not going to even show that because, you know, I'm going to be disgusted. But I did something stupid in that play. I didn't run a structurally sound defense in that play. And, you know, the video's too long. That's just me trying to be creative and throwing the game away. So anyways, this is cover 2 zone. Again, we have an alert on this play, right? 2 zone, 2 man, and cover 0. 2 zone, we like this over here. So I wonder if I tried to attack that. This is his first time playing 2 zone the entire game, I thought. So, okay, I know why I did this. I did this because sometimes players will play cover 2 zone and have to snap on the ball, or at least show this look, and then it rotates into like cover 3. So they play like show cover 2, and then it actually plays like cover 3. So my plan was to turn him into a comeback and watch this safety, right? And he dictates where I'm going to go with the ball. Okay? If he goes to the deep middle, or if he comes down like it's single high, then I know I'm going here, right? However, if he stays into his deep half responsibility, now I know I can work my alert shot. I'm hoping it's cover 2, and it is. So I was happy here. I was ecstatic. I'm like, all right, please hold up in protection, please. So I'm like, wow. So I forgot what happened. Oh my goodness. Oh man, I remember what happened, bro. Oh my goodness, this is just sad. This guy, I gotta give this guy props, dude. Seriously. So, this is cover 0, right? You guys know what I'm doing, right? I mean, come on, right? You know what I'm doing. I don't care if I missed this throw 8 times. I know where I'm supposed to go with the ball. I'm thinking, dude, I can win this game with this shot here. I know we're in field goal range, but it's available, dude. You know, anytime someone plays cover zero, you got to be afraid that I'm attacking here. Okay? So I'm like, all right, we're good in pass protection. Okay. We're good in pass protection. And you know what my opponent does? He actually green dogs. I have played, who knows, maybe 1,000 games. Maybe against cover zero, who knows how many times. 6,000 times. I have been green dogged 1 time before this. So I just was not expecting this at all. Like it just didn't even register on my radar until right at the snap of the ball. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get it. I'm good in protection. I got 6-on-6. And he's just coming. So he green dogs it. So what does green dog mean? That means it guarantees a free rusher no matter what. So now I don't have time to throw the post. This threw me off. I saw him coming. And I'm like, oh no, he's green dogging. So I'm like, oh, you know, I still want to throw the post. So I just drift, and I still have to throw it early. You see how I'm not able to be further up in the pocket and throw into the throw? And I threw as I'm getting hit. It's still there, bro. It's like, what? It's still there. Oh. I was in shock. Kudos to that green dog he did. I couldn't believe it. So we lost. I gave up 52 points. I played like total shit, right? Still, put up 49. I think he threw 4 interceptions. Okay, but I played like straight trash. And I think a lot of these points was due to my interceptions, right? I think I gave up like 28 points off of my interceptions. Not to also take into account me playing poorly on defense. So I'll leave it at that. Maybe you got something from this video. Maybe I don't even upload it. But we'll see. If I did, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you keep coming back for more, man. Peace.